I think, going into the Thunderdome that is LinkedIn, I do think, and undefensively, the vilification of companies that have added AI to their products. I think you went through a period, if you listen to public company earnings calls, where it's like, how many times can somebody say AI? And so there was like some noise there. But I think, again, having a pretty large and robust tech stack, I think there are examples where AI can take what is a great core competency and make it better. And so I don't think it's necessarily vilifying the fact that all of these companies are now saying AI because they're trying to get some market lift. I think the market lift is over, especially as a public company. The market lift is definitely over from just saying AI. But I do see, some of these companies that probably everybody has used, there's a massive opportunity to make them better. And so, like, I use ours as an example, like 48% of our customer base for a period of time was still just using us for contact lookups. It's great to be a known household brand that everybody knows has great contacts. It's really frustrating on the other end talking to the likes of you guys or CROs saying, no, I just bought this company for technographics. I just bought this company for intent. And it's like, oh, did ours miss the mark? They're like, we didn't know you had it. And so the ability to take AI and basically serve up more of a proactive use case than it is, I think, for many years. And, seeing some of the folks on the earlier panels, for many years, we hired these armies of CSMs for these products. And you can name any go-to-market tech stack product, and you hire a couple hundred CSMs, and please go teach someone how to use this thing to its full capacity. And I think one of the things that AI does nicely is it takes like the really meaningful moments, irrespective of what the product is, and it ties them together and serves them up more proactively across different systems. And so I wouldn't necessarily vilify that, but I think on the what does a CRO do where you've got existing incumbent vendors that are throwing AI at you, then you've got like cool MIT guy startups coming at you. I think I forget who said it, but ultimately it does come down to like what is the biggest problem and what are we trying to solve? And like, is this
Mm.
nice to have, or is this something that is ingrained that the people like and this just makes it better? And I think, to Rashid's point, across where I see the biggest value in AI is for the first time ever, you have the ability to consume massive amounts of data and get it right. And so, on the relationship map side, and Rashid, we need to have a conversation after this. Like, that's been one of the hardest things when I think about waste. My Slack is filled with like, hey, you know this guy? Hey, you're connected on LinkedIn. You know this guy? I've got like 20,000 connections. I probably know 1,000 of them. And so I've got to go through and look. And when you think about data points like alma mater, growing up, high school, all of the things that might be publicly available, and then say they work together at the same organization for this long, and you can get pretty tight. Then, not to mention all the first party data around emails and calendar invites and things like that. That used to be this massive undertaking that my poor EA had to go through thousands of calendar meetings to say, I actually met with Warren before. Or you go to LinkedIn and say, oh, yeah, I actually worked with this guy for a year, even though I never knew him. The amount of data that it takes to get that to a pretty good place was damn near impossible 5 years ago. Now you can consume all that data and make heads or tails of it. Same thing with podcast information. Everybody's probably done 1,000 podcasts on this call. The likes that some sales guy is going to listen to it 45 minutes, it's impossible. But now you can summarize all of those things. And so you amalgamate huge amounts of data to take out an underlying nugget of a point of view or some reason to go after them. Like, regardless of if they're new cool tech AI or if they're legacy old company that's gotten into AI, as long as the use case is bringing value to something that you are trying desperately to solve in CRO land, it's a win, regardless of whose company it is, my point of view.
Great. Yeah, we got some hands up. Who wants to jump in?
Yeah,
Go
so
ahead.
I'll go next. I think one point I differ here is instead of looking for what waste is there in the company and then find solutions for that, it's also good to go the other way around because there are so many things in the company which are which could be adding to inefficiencies, and you might not even imagine that it can be solved by AI today because not a lot of either CROs or even other C level people, they know what is possible with AI and what is not possible with AI. So actually instead of just finding waste and then going to find tools around that waste, it's also good to have an open mind and see what other tools are available in the market, because you might not know that this problem can actually be solved by AI. And when it comes to AI native companies, I think, Warren, you put it in a very good way, is if you take the AI features out of your product, does the product still work? I think that's a huge difference. I'm sure, companies here, or like few of us who started after ChatGPT was launched, their product will not work. Like I'll be very honest, if we take AI out of SwiftHub platform might not work, right? But the products which were born before ChatGPT was launched, those products will still work. So that is the difference between, I think, AI native pre-ChatGPT and post-ChatGPT companies. There are three superpowers which I think any AI platform needs to perform the best. Is one is knows what you know. So actually, you were giving an example of Notion, right? Now you're not using Notion's AI because ChatGPT has learned a lot from what you know, right? So what you know, it evolves continuously and it remembers what you have been talking about. Now, these three components, not just in ChatGPT, but also in B2B setup, are really important. I mean, some data is in Salesforce. We spoke about that. Matt was like, why do we need sales enablement tools? Which is true. So the knowledge is spread across so many sources. Now, as a salesperson, I know knowledge which resides in 10 sources. So an AI agent needs to know that knowledge which resides in 10 sources to make my job easier. Otherwise, it is just taking siloed information and making decisions on basis of only one knowledge source, which was something which was done pre-AI, pre-chat GPT era as well. So I think three things which CROs should look at, especially for in B2B domain, is AI agents should know what you know, it learns as it goes, and it never forgets.